Welcome back to WagerTalk TV. I'm Marco D'Angelo, joined in studio with Kelly Stewart. You can find her on Twitter at Kelly in Vegas. That's a good name. You can find me at Marco in Vegas on Twitter.
Marco likes to copy people's Twitter names.
Yeah, go look at both and see who had which one first. I love that Twitter has the date joined. This is the Ask Kelly segment. We're going to ask some questions, but actually they have questions for both of us on this one. So I get a little airtime with you too, asking some questions. Let's start with the two-part question for you and me. And the question comes from at LK.
Coral 25. He's tweeted us before.
Yeah, okay.
I call it Carol, but I don't know if that's really what it is.
It's close enough. We'll have it up on the screen so people can see. And his question is, when was the moment you knew you were destined to be in this business of sports betting?
Destined? I mean, destined's tough because, we talked about in another video earlier with Teddy about bankroll management and how much it takes to become, and it is an absolute roller coaster ride. And there's so many times in my life that I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? I would honestly say probably about a year ago when the legislation passed and I knew that the opportunities in the media and all that stuff really helped me become more disciplined. I had a conversation with a former client that used to buy my package and stuff the other day. He said, Kelly, what are you doing differently? And I'm like, it is 5,000% bankroll management. And I tell people this all the time. When I was working at the nightclub and I had money coming in, it didn't matter if I bet 3 dimes in a game if I lost it, because I'd go to work that weekend and make it back. And it was just a roller coaster cycle where those great weeks were great and I'd go to Hawaii for a month and next thing you know, like everything's amazing. And then while you're in Hawaii, you lose 20 dimes betting baseball and you're going, what am I doing with my life? And that kind of inconsistency will definitely make you question what your quote unquote destiny is. So I would say once I really truly learned, hey Kelly, you know what, nickels and dimes is your threshold, maybe a little bit higher, 2 dimes if you love something. Learning that and then coupled with the media stuff really was like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is my passion. And now that I've got some of the degenerate tendencies under wraps, like this could be a true thing.
Yeah, for me, actually was at the age of 17. Baseball was my first love, and that's where I made, my money. And I was betting, and I always had a job. I wasn't, working in a nightclub and bringing it in like you were, Kelly, unfortunately. But I was betting $50 and $100 a game. At 17, I was betting baseball and still living at home. And I had a little briefcase under my bed.
So nobody knew.
Yeah, and that briefcase ended up with, $50 and $100 bets. I had like close to $5,000 in my suitcase or briefcase, and then I came across an ad, and I saw an ad for a sports service here. I won't say who it was in Vegas, but he was standing in front of a fancy car and the slick back hair and everything, and I'm saying, wow, I'm from little Podunk, Pennsylvania, outside of Pittsburgh, and I made this money. This guy's living in Vegas, he knows everything, and I bought a service, and needless to say, almost blew my entire bankroll with them, and I was like, this is insane, and I was still betting my games. But I was betting my games like 50 for 100, and I was betting his games, for 3 to 500, because he was
a professional.
That's whenever I realized, I am actually better than this particular guy, at least at this current time. And that's when I decided I could do this. And like Teddy said in a previous video, yes, I sell picks, and people ask, well, why don't you bet your own games? I do bet my own games, but I sell the picks as well. And it does help subsidize what you're playing, and because you do have those peaks and waves. But that's when I got started at age 17. So for me, that was when I had
his initial question is, what was your first sports wager? Do you remember?
Well, my first wager period obviously was horses. I went to the track with my dad. But my first wager, I used to sit and watch the Sunday games with my dad. He would let me play. I was probably 13 or 14. I would pick one a week, a 2-team NFL 7-point teaser.
Okay.
And that's what I was doing at 13 or 14.
At 13 and 14, I definitely didn't know what an NFL teaser was. I can promise you that.
I come from an Italian family. Gambling was all, anytime there was a family affair, it ended up with a poker game downstairs and everything, with my uncles and everything.
I had a ton of sports wagers where I would bet my friends when we were little kids, or $10 or whatever it was. But my first official sports wager, I won a trip to Vegas when I was 19 in college, and none of my friends had a fake ID. And my sister.
I'm sure you did, though.
I did, of course I did. And my sister was like, I'll go to Vegas with you for free. Hello. So we came out here, and I remember I had my fake ID, and I walk up to the window at New York, to bet K-State to win the national championship. My dad gave me $100 and said, let's bet $100 while you're in Vegas for K-State to win the national championship. And they didn't even ID me. I was like 19 years old, and they didn't even ID me. And I was like, okay. And of course, it was a massive loser. I think K-State won 7 games that year.
There you go. Well, let's, one last question he has this one comes from T.A. Sticky, at T.A. Sticky, and he wants to know, what do you think about the Warriors? Will they be inflated line in Game 1?
So we've talked to several bookmakers. Part of what I get to do for WagerTalk is I do get that inside information. So I talked to Jeff Sherman. I think we're going to see, depending on what's going on with KD, we know tomorrow morning, this is Wednesday, I don't even know what date it is, the 22nd. Yep. So they play... the Raptors play tomorrow night, but we're hearing that KD is going to be seeing a doctor tomorrow morning. So a lot of things are indicative of that. We know the Raptors are going to probably be an underdog regardless. And now, the Bucks last night just didn't come to play both games. So we're not really sure, but I think we'll see the Bucks open as a favorite. If KD plays, I think the game will be a pick'em. I think anytime you're betting the Warriors, you're paying a premium. It doesn't mean it's not the right play. Johnny, one of our fearless leaders, always tweets about the Patriots. And you're not getting value on the Patriots yet. The Patriots are superseding the value perceived in the sports books, because we know that people are going to come in and bet the Patriots regardless. So the bookmakers do juice. And I think we see the same thing with the Warriors, especially how they were able to not only come away in Game 6 as an underdog, then sweep Portland. And Portland, you can argue either side, that either the Warriors defense stepped up in the second half or Portland just absolutely pissed down their leg. Whatever you want to say it is, I took the 7.5 with Portland in Game 2. I wanted to take the 3, especially when it moved to 2.5 in Game 4, and I just couldn't do it. We saw the game land on 2. Again, because you're paying a premium to bet the Warriors. I think if you like the Warriors in either one of those first road games, whether it be the Bucks or the Raptors, I do, yes, to answer your question in a really full circle way. I think you are paying a little extra to bet the Warriors.
Well, I'm going to add this. It's going to depend on how long this series goes. If we would have did this video yesterday prior,
and I thought the Bucks were going to win last night.
Everybody had the Bucks is just going to steamroll Toronto. They were lucky Toronto got the one game in Game 3. But that was a very heavy public play last night. Fortunately for me, I was on Toronto, and to me, it was the mirror image of the Golden State-Houston series. When Game 3, you paid a premium for Houston, down 0-2 at home. They were a favorite. In Game 4, they're an underdog. I'm sorry. 5.5-point move yesterday, not worth it. We'll see how this game goes. If it goes 7, then you're going to be paying a premium for Golden State for sure, because the public will overreact to them. Hey, guys, make sure you listen to our podcast each week. We do it every week on Thursdays. You can search for the WagerTalk podcast on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all of the other major podcast networks. We appreciate you guys. If you like our videos, do us a favor. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button, leave us a comment down below. We'll be back with more here on WagerTalk TV.